I want to apologize to our audience who may have tried to tune in last week on the 8th on International Women's Day, because that's really what I had planned for us to have this conversation during International Women's Day, but we're still in International Women's Month, so it's still on track. But I wanted to really show my appreciation to you, Colleen, because I don't know how if you realize how much of an impact you have had on my agile journey. And I love to let persons know that I'm the first professional Kanban trainer in the entire Caribbean region. And I owe that in part so much to you and for you having the visionary insight to start the Women in Kanban Scholarship Initiative. So I want to just thank you for that. And thank you also for being a source of inspiration and encouragement for me along this journey. And it's so hard sometimes to find women who are excelling in this space and to look up to and say, that's somebody who I admire and they're really shining, the light is shining on them and I want them to give me a hand up. And you do it so graciously and without even having to second guess your your role as a mentor for the women in Kanban. And I want to just thank you for that. And can you tell our audience a little bit more about the Women in Kanban Scholarship?
Well, thank you for saying all that, Andrea. I'm glad we're not on video because you're going to make me cry. Yes. So when we launched Pro Kanban in 2020, we reached out to a lot of the Kanban practitioners that we knew and that we respected and invited them to become part of our trainer community. And very quickly, we realized that our trainers were of a certain demographic, and it didn't look like the audiences that we wanted to reach. In fact, one of our mentors said, "It looks like you have an old white guy problem." And I thought, we thought about all the different things we could do to try to create more diversity in our community. And I just thought back to my career. What would I have wanted, right? When I was stepping into this space, what was missing that would have given me that boost and given me that confidence to move forward and step forward in that space. And, I think there were a few things that really stood out to me when I was first learning about Kanban and getting involved in the Kanban communities. I very rarely spoke up because I was afraid that someone was going to tell me that my question was stupid, or how could you ask that? Or you clearly don't know what you're doing if you're asking that question. But, it's kind of the old adage of like, how do we get experience if we can't get that first job? That, you need experience to get a job, but you can't get a job without experience. And how can we learn if we can't feel comfortable asking questions? And so that was really important to me. And then it was, how do we do it? How do we create a space for that where we can learn together and grow from each other, but do it in a small group with other women who want to do that same thing, who want to lift each other up, support each other, whether you are brand new in this field or you've been doing it for 10 years. How do we create this network of women supporting women? And it's something I wish I had earlier in my career. And I said to Dan Vicanti, let's just make this. Like, there's no reason we can't do this. Let's create a space for this. And like you said, Andrea, you were one of the very early cohorts in this. And I would say that much like raising your first child, I am gracious. I'm grateful that you let us figure some things out in the group that you were in, because I think every time we run one, it gets a little bit better and a little bit stronger and a little bit, I think what comes out of each cohort continues to improve. And I see some names listening that are in the current cohort, and every group continues to amaze me. And I'm so proud of the women that go through these programs because we create the space. I feel like we create a opportunity, but what really makes the program successful is the women that are in it.